This belt fits so well that I had to take the pulley off to get it on. There's no spec for how much clearance I need, but I can see daylight, and I'm calling that good. This kickstand was bolted onto the motor just in front of the shift shaft, and there's no place for that here, so I used my new transfer punches and punched the bolt locations onto this piece of flat stock, and then I used one of the fish mouths that I cut off from an earlier version of the transmission cradle, and I'm gonna locate this right onto that transmission subframe there, and there's a little witness mark right here, if you can see that, where this hits a stop, so I can locate this in roughly the same spot. I'll have to use two hands to do this, but that's my next move. Here's my challenge for the weekend. I really want to use this shift lever from the Triumph, but it's gotta somehow connect to the shift lever on the Harley. So I don't know if I have the skills to make another spline, or to make a spline shaft for this. And I was about to steal the shift shaft out of the donor motor, and then I found one on eBay for 14 bucks, way easier. So now I've got to figure out how to mount this shift shaft in there somewhere, and there's not much room. So the first thing I had to do was figure out if the throw is right. So I have a Rally Pro, and it's got 1.25 inches of throw when you shift it, and the tip of this Harley shifter goes about 3/4 inch to make a shift. So I've got 4 inches of lever here. I can fit about 2.5 inches off the other end of this shift shaft, and then get a linkage between those 2 points. That gives me a 1.6 ratio. So my shifter with this little plan will move 1.2 inches, which is just about the same. This is my rough sketch of how I'm going to do this. And basically I'm going to mount this, mount this in here off this bolt, and I'm going to make 2 little arms to attach to that bolt, and then put some bushings in here. I found this scrap piece of PTFE. I'm going to make one big bushing in here, and then make some flanges, and then this will stick through here. I'm going to chop this off and attach a lever that will have a little linkage going to this guy, and Bob's your uncle. We'll see if it works out. By the way, this is all made out of stainless. This is going to be welded onto that little short piece of 1-inch tube, and then I'm going to cut the flange out by hand. I just want to machine out that welding surface, and I got to make 2 of these. Here's my little manufactured part. I think this is going to work. It's going to slide right over this. And while I was looking around, I found these brass hunks, and instead of using plastic, I think I'm gonna make some bushings for both ends of these. That'll last longer. It'll be cool. Nobody will ever see it, but I'll know it's there. Well, here's my little assembly. I'm pretty happy with it. Oh, if I can get it in frame. Shifter. This bolts down under here, basically like this. I have a actuator or linkage that goes from this point to that point. I ordered it at McMaster Car, so I could adjust it. I just want to close the chapter on this shifter. So I made a little temporary piece of aluminum to actuate, but there we go.